Have you ever met someone who leaves you feeling exhausted even though you barely spent any time with them? What's interesting is that these people don't always seem toxic. They could be friends, co-workers, or even family members. Yet after every interaction, your mood feels heavier, your focus disappears, and your mental energy drops. The surprising part is that many of them don't even realize they're doing it. Today, we're looking at the 7 types of people who secretly drain your energy. And chances are, you'll recognize at least one of them. Have you ever spent just a few minutes with someone and suddenly felt exhausted, irritated, or emotionally drained for no obvious reason? What's strange is that these people don't always look toxic. Sometimes they're friends, co-workers, relatives, or even people you genuinely care about. But every interaction with them leaves you feeling a little heavier than before. The truth is, not everyone who drains your energy does it intentionally. Many people do it through their habits, behaviors, and emotional patterns. And once you learn to recognize them, you'll start understanding why certain relationships leave you feeling mentally tired. Here are the 7 types of people who secretly drain your energy. The first type is the constant complainer. We all go through difficult times and everyone needs support occasionally. But the constant complainer is different. No matter what happens, they always find something wrong. If the weather's nice, it's too hot. If work is going well, something else is unfair. Every conversation becomes a long list of problems. At first, you may feel sympathetic and want to help. But after a while, you realize they aren't looking for solutions. They're looking for an audience. Psychologically, constant negativity forces your brain to focus on problems instead of possibilities. Over time, you may start feeling emotionally exhausted after every conversation because you're carrying stress that doesn't even belong to you. The second type is the attention seeker. These people have an incredible ability to make everything about themselves. If you're sharing a personal achievement, they somehow redirect the conversation back to their own story. If you're having a difficult day, they suddenly have a bigger problem. Their need for validation is so strong that every interaction revolves around getting attention. The exhausting part isn't just their behavior. It's how invisible they make other people feel. Healthy relationships involve mutual interest and emotional exchange. But with attention seekers, you're often playing the role of audience rather than participant. Eventually, you may notice that conversations leave you feeling unheard and emotionally disconnected. The third type is the one-way friendship. This is one of the most common energy drains people experience. In these relationships, you're always the one checking in, helping, listening, and making effort. Whenever they need support, you're there. But when you need something, they're suddenly unavailable. At first, you may excuse their behavior because life gets busy. But over time, the pattern becomes impossible to ignore. The relationship survives because of your effort alone. Psychologically, one-sided relationships create emotional imbalance. Human beings naturally expect some level of reciprocity. When that balance disappears, resentment and exhaustion slowly take its place. You start feeling emotionally depleted because you're constantly giving while receiving very little in return. The fourth type is the passive-aggressive person. These individuals rarely express their frustration directly. Instead, they communicate through sarcasm, subtle insults, cold behavior, or indirect comments. When something bothers them, they don't address it openly. They make you guess. One day everything seems normal, and the next day they're acting distant for reasons they won't explain. The reason this behavior is so draining is because it creates uncertainty. Your mind starts analyzing every interaction, trying to figure out what went wrong. Instead of clear communication, you're left navigating emotional puzzles. That constant guessing game consumes mental energy and creates unnecessary stress. The fifth type is the chronic critic. Unlike people who offer constructive feedback, chronic critics seem to focus almost entirely on flaws. No matter what you accomplish, they find something to point out. You get a promotion, and they question whether it was deserved. You start a new project, and they immediately highlight potential failures. The problem isn't honest feedback. The problem is constant criticism without encouragement. Over time, Repeated exposure to this behavior can slowly affect confidence and self-esteem. You may start doubting your decisions or second-guessing your abilities. Their words don't just drain your energy in the moment, they continue affecting your thoughts long after the conversation ends. The sixth type is the drama creator. Every week seems to bring a new conflict, crisis, or emotional explosion. Somehow, wherever they go, chaos follows. They constantly pull people into arguments, misunderstandings, and unnecessary tension. At first, their stories may seem entertaining, but eventually, you notice something interesting. The drama never ends. As soon as one problem is resolved, another appears. Psychologically, drama creators keep people emotionally activated. Your mind stays focused on conflict, tension, and uncertainty. Even when you're not directly involved, simply hearing about their endless problems can leave you feeling emotionally overwhelmed. Peace becomes difficult when someone constantly brings chaos into every conversation. The seventh and perhaps most draining type is the emotional manipulator. These individuals know how to use guilt, obligation, and emotional pressure to influence others. They may make you feel responsible for their happiness, their choices, or their emotions. If you say no, they make you feel selfish. If you set boundaries, they act hurt. If you prioritize yourself, they make you feel guilty. The reason emotional manipulation is so exhausting is because it creates internal conflict. You're constantly choosing between your own needs and the fear of disappointing someone else. Over time, this pattern can leave you emotionally drained because you're spending more energy managing their reactions than living your own life. Now, here's something important to remember. Not everyone who displays these behaviors is a bad person. Sometimes people act this way because of insecurity, stress, or habits they've never recognized. But understanding the reason behind a behavior doesn't mean you must tolerate its impact. Emotional intelligence isn't just about understanding others. It's also about understanding how certain relationships affect you. The people around you influence your mood, confidence, focus, and mental peace more than you realize. That's why healthy boundaries matter. Protecting your energy isn't selfish, it's necessary. Pay attention to how you feel after spending time with certain people. Do you feel supported, respected, and understood? Or do you feel drained, anxious, and emotionally exhausted? The answer often reveals more about a relationship than words ever could. Choose relationships that bring balance rather than depletion, and remember that your energy is one of your most valuable resources. Be careful about who has access to it.